Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom, ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom, 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 Shabbat shalom. As we just sang Shabbat Shalom, welcome to those here physically in the sanctuary with us and those who are watching us from the live stream. We're happy to have you all here. The Talmud relates that each Friday night, a good and a bad angel visit every home. If they come to a place where everything is ready for Shabbat to arrive, the good angel says, "May it be so next week too." And the bad angel, against his will, must answer, "Amen." If the situation is reversed and the spirit of Shabbat is absent from a home, then the bad angel says, "May it be so next week too." And the good angel, against his will, must answer, "Amen." I invite us all to prepare for Shabbat together. Put the stress and the frustrations of the week behind you and open yourself to a mindset of rest and abundance. Together we will sing Shalom Aleichem to welcome the angels in and ask for their blessing as we enter this holy day of the week. Page 323. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As we continue welcoming in Shabbat together, I'd like to invite up Serena and Steve Bloomfield to kindle our Shabbat lights this evening, and the rest of us can join them on pages 2 and 3.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives.
Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של השבת.
Thank you. Page 6. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Together, now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its thresholds. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We continue with Lecha Dodi on page 20.
La 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 Lecha Dodi. La 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 Likrat Kala. La 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 B'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat Nekam. La 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 Lecha Dodi. La 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 Likrat Kala. La 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 B'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat Nekam. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmianu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad. Shmo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'ritzilah. Shabbat l'chuvnecha ki mikol habracha merosh mikem mesucha sof maaseh b'machshava tchila Yai lai lai, ya la 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 kadodi, ya la 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 li krakala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat nikavla. Hitoreri, kivauri.
We rise in body or spirits.
Goiv shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'tzola, toch emunei am segula,
Please be seated. We continue on page 26.
Yitkadosh me'irabai Bi'almadi v'rachinutei Bi'amlich machutei B'chayechon u'yomechon U'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Bagala, bagala U'vizman kariv V'imeru
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach Le'alam lo me'almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach Yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitaitar v'yitalei v'yitalal Shmei d'kudsha Brichulei Lamin ko b'chata V'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma V'imeru
Amen. We rise for Baruchu on page 28.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai,
Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We read together in the middle of page 32. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel, by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 41. We read together. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Rabbi Evan Yakar writes, "The Hashkivenu prayer is the moment during our liturgy that urges us to invite the divine to spread over us a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace. It is under this canopy that we can discover the mending our souls require. In this space, when we feel the presence of the divine, the shelter of community around us, we can understand our best self. Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, spread over us a shelter of peace." Page 43.
ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם.
We turn to page 46 for our Amidah and rise in body or spirit.
Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fi yadi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Rekonei Hakol, Rizocher Chastei Havot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geulah Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Me'ahavah, Melech Ozer Moshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiach HaRuach Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech noflim ve'ofech oholim, umatir asurim, umechayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'nemanata lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We read together in the middle of page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'orcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. We continue with our own personal prayer and reflection.
Yehu
leratzon
imrei fi legion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri legoli Adonai tzuri vegoli May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yehu leratzon imrei fi legion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri legoli Adonai tzuri vegoli.
It's part of our being together as one community every Shabbat. We always keep in our minds and in our hearts those who are in need of healing, whether it's people we know or people we've read about or heard about, whether they need healing of body, mind, or spirit. We turn to page 253 for our Misha Berach prayer. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. Tonight, our congregation is thinking of Carol Babcock, Donna Berlin, Paula Best, Rosalie Teddy Bono, Fran Coffey, Adele and Harold Cohen, Tom Davis, Devorah Bat Rachel, Helene Edwards, Sarah Fabian, Art Fields, Mehmet Guns, Jesse Halpern, Margaret Hare, Mary Hartman, Kimberly Janis, Barry Kaufman, Robert Kay, Janet Kennedy, Andrea Mitchell, Margot Murray, Tina Naper, David Osofsky, Laura Osofsky, Stuart Patz, Bert Peters, Buddy Pollock, Jean Posen, Randall Rout, Marlene Reb, Sandra Resnikoff, Alex Rosen, Adele Shamban, Judy Shea, Ruthie Silver, Alan Smith, Nicholas Sobek, Barbara Strindberg, Judy Van Gorder, Caroline Wenk, David Weston, Marlene Widrich, Marla Stein Johannes. If you have other names you'd like to share with our community, please say them out loud as I look around the room. We'll start on this side and then come around. Go ahead, David. Thanks. Kevin.
Ron Berlin, Larry Burnside.
Thank you. Anyone else from this side? Okay, Bob? David? Thanks. Leslie? Thank you.
Melanie Baker.
Thank you. For all these names and for a hurting world, we continue with our words of Misha Berach, our prayer for healing.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikol HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mikol HaBracha Lamotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
There was a doctor, a civil engineer, and a planner sitting around late one evening, and they got to discussing which of theirs was the oldest profession. The doctor pointed out that according to biblical tradition, God created Eve from Adam's rib. This obviously required surgery, so therefore his was the oldest profession in the world. The engineer countered with an earlier passage in the Bible that stated that God created order from chaos, and that was certainly the biggest and best civil engineering example ever, which also proved that her profession was the oldest. The planner leaned back in her chair and with a sly smile responded, "Yes, but who do you think created the chaos?" Thank you. We've all heard the saying that people plan and God laughs. Even when you have specific ideas about who you are and what you want to accomplish, life can always surprise you. Sometimes chaos is intended or planned out, and sometimes it is completely unexpected. This week's Parsha, Vayishlach, centers around Jacob, who both does a lot of planning for his future and also faces some unanticipated events. Jacob has a lot of ups and downs and experiences many full-circle moments throughout his story. The Torah spends a lot of time on his journey, describing his perspectives and his travels in relative detail, and focusing multiple portions on what happens to him and his family. So far as we have read these portions, we know him as a trickster who manipulated his brother Esau and his father Isaac and stole a special blessing and a birthright. This week, in Vayishlach, there's a lot of plot development for Jacob. Two events highlight the part of this parsha that focus on his character specifically. First, his anticipated reunion with his brother Esau, and second, his unanticipated wrestling match with a mysterious divine figure. Jacob spends a good deal of time preparing and planning to see his brother again. The Torah tells us he was greatly frightened of facing the consequences of his manipulative actions. His anxiety causes him to divide up his goods, his messengers, and his family into separate camps in case Esau expresses anger and attacks. He prays to God to deliver him from whatever Esau might do. He prepares gifts for his brother in an attempt to placate him. At the end of this huge planning process, with all the preparing for the future that he has done, something happens that Jacob cannot anticipate. Genesis 32 tells us, "Vayivater Yaakov levado," and Jacob was left alone. "Vayivakesh ish imo adolot hasachar," and a man wrestled with him until the break of dawn. Who or what this man or divine being or angel was exactly is another whole sermon, but the reason why his encounter with Jacob is so important is that this event was formative for Jacob's identity. As they are fighting, Jacob holds the being close and he wrenches Jacob's hip out of its socket. Jacob still refuses to let go, demanding a blessing. The figure asks his name, Jacob responds, and then the figure offers a life-changing pronouncement. "Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel. For you have struggled with beings divine and human, and you have prevailed." Rabbi Stephanie Bernstein writes that Jacob's life is full of struggle, yet this particular struggle greatly transforms Jacob, as indicated by the fact that he receives the name Israel. Rabbi Bernstein comments, "Jacob is the last of the patriarchs to receive a personal covenant with God. His new name foreshadows the future renewal of the covenant that will transpire between God and Bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel. Jacob's lifelong struggles prepare him and Bnei Yisrael for the challenges that lie ahead. As much as Jacob has prepared for the future, this wrestling match demonstrates that there were some events he just could not control. This sudden encounter, without all the planning and anxiety that he experienced when anticipating meeting his brother, compels him to be completely open and vulnerable. Wrestling with a divine being is not like anything he could have imagined, and so he has no choice but to act authentically in the moment. Where the younger Jacob was cunning, stealing and manipulating in order to receive a blessing, here he is honest. He responds to the man truthfully. The Torah commentary Eitz Chaim reminds us that the last time Jacob requested a blessing and was asked his name, he replied falsely, since he was pretending to be Esau. It is only now that he answers honestly, admitting exactly who he is, that he can be given the name Israel, assuming a new identity and fulfilling his and our destiny. Even after this intense encounter, Jacob's struggles are not yet over. He still has to reunite with Esau. The next morning, he limps over to greet his brother and bows low to the ground. Instead of trying to play tricks on Esau or justify his past behavior, Jacob is open and vulnerable once again. Having received a blessing that he actually deserves, Jacob has already changed for the better. Esau, in turn, does not greet Jacob with hostility or anger, but instead weeps, runs over, and hugs his brother, kissing him on the neck. His behavior is so unexpected and meaningful that the Torah even highlights this interaction with special dots above the letters. Now that Jacob is open with his brother, Esau, too, can fully express himself. Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch comments that Esau acted in hate all his life, but is now acting in love. Both Jacob and Esau have changed and can now have a full and authentic relationship with one another. Though each brother is flesh and blood, their encounter too is divine. Jacob comments to Esau, "To see your face is like seeing the face of God." Jacob has been both hurt and blessed in the span of a few hours. His unexpected encounter with the mysterious figure leaves him open to the planned reunion with his brother, putting him in a place where his walls of preparation and anxiety have come down, and he can face his brother as his authentic self. When he finally meets his brother, he is open to manifestations of the divine where they are least expected, and sees God's face within his pure and emotional interaction with a fellow human. His growth has compelled him to be open to wherever his journey might bring him, and not attempt to anticipate and manipulate every situation to his advantage. Jacob's struggles have made him who he is, yet not in the way he expected. He was prepared to fight with his brother, and instead fought with an angel, and then was received in the best way possible by his brother. His journey reminds us that no matter how much we may plan and anticipate, other people and life have a great potential to surprise us. Struggle is necessary and a natural part of life, but many times we are taken by surprise when our interactions do not unfold in the way we anticipate them. Sometimes we can prepare for what is ahead and our planning pays off. Sometimes we just have to be ready to expect the unexpected. Though we do not receive new names each time we wrestle with the unexpected, each step on our journey impacts who we continue to become and those who come after us. May our encounters, those we know about and those that surprise us, provide us with meaning and help us to grow. May our plans help prepare us, but also leave us open to what we cannot anticipate. And may we see the divine presence in all of our interactions.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom. Vehamitenu, Shomreinu L'chaim. Uperos Aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We continue with Aleinu on page 282 as we again rise in body or spirit.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים
Please be seated.
Page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Members of our congregational family are in a period of shloshim for Barbara Kazin and Phyllis Vandroff. In this Shabbat, we mark the yahrzeit of Sylvia Abramson, Nicholas Simon Dennis, Molly Eflin, Neil Finkelstein, Maria Funari, Harvey Jartower, Ranit Krinsky-Lubliner, Wilma Lengel, Charlotte Lafer, Dorothy Levy, Sydney Mann, Michael Marco, Effie Marco, Freda L. Paul, Florence Rosenblatt, Bernard Ross, Eleanor Rubin Crystal, Deborah Sampson, Ruth Schwartz, Mark Shamban, Max Seidman, Estelle Teitelbaum, Aaron Weinstein, Harold Wexler, and Richard Wolfson. And if you have a name to add to our list this evening, please share that name with us now. Go ahead, David. David, yes.
Sam Freelander.
Thank you. Steve in the back. Thank you. Marilyn. Thank you. Steve. So for all of those whom we've named aloud, those who we hold dear in our hearts and think of all the time, we rise together as a community to extol God's name through the words of Kaddish Yatom on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alamu almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei dekudsha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. Please be seated.
Unless you're David Kaufman, in which case, please come up and share some announcements with us.
Shabbat Shalom. And on behalf of my wife, Sherry, who was scheduled to make the announcements tonight, but got called away for some unexpected but much welcome grandbaby sitting. I'm standing in for her, and on behalf of our Temple Board of Trustees, I welcome you to Congregational Havas Chesed. We're thrilled that you have chosen our temple for your Shabbat worship this evening. And I'd like to welcome this evening Stephanie Linus, who is joining us and visiting with us this evening. If you are joining us this evening for the first time or new to Temple, please make sure that you make yourself known to Rabbi Cantor and myself after services so that we can welcome you appropriately. Thank you, Rabbi and Cantor, for beautiful service. I must say, as a professional planner, I'm not sure how to react to your sermon, especially given our recent history. But I do think that when you two sing duos together, it's an amazing feeling. We encourage you to read through all the many exciting things happening in our community through our service handout. You can also find our upcoming events on our website, thetemplejacks.org. We only have a couple of other announcements this week as we prepare to celebrate Thanksgiving. We want to remind everyone that the temple office will be closed for the entirety of the week, but there will be an on-call staff member in case of any emergency. Also, we have highlighted the annual holiday gift-giving flyer this week in the worship pamphlet. Just a reminder, December 13th will be the last day to bring your unwrapped gift to temple. This is a great opportunity to provide local foster children for this holiday season. And I just want to wish everybody a very happy, healthy, and safe Thanksgiving, and look forward to seeing you again here next Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
As David mentioned, there will be Shabbat next week. We'll be here, same time, same place, Friday night and Saturday morning as well. So if you have some family in town, want to bring them to temple, we'd love to see you and celebrate gratitude and community together once again next week and throughout our holiday season, our secular holiday season, I suppose. We will conclude our service with Kiddush and Motzi on page 5.
Please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri lagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho yahava uratzon Hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techilah lemikra'ei kodesh zecher le'tzion Yitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'olim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'ratzon hinchatanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. And please join with us in Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We'll end our service with a much-needed prayer for peace, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh shalom bimroma, yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimroma, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom.
Where I was like, what? Oh, right, 5 in the book, but not 5 in the music. Like, my brain like stopped for a second. Oh, I don't even know. It was so